Well, good morning, Transplant Over community. My name is Jim Merle, and yeah, I just want to update you just a little bit on what I'm calling my COVID scare. It's been about 2 days ago now. I woke up feeling just terrible, just yucky, aching all over, not really running a fever that I could tell, but, feeling like I had a fever, just feeling rough all day long. I really didn't eat anything, didn't have any appetite, just kind of laid around, and that was pretty much that day. Now, I thought I was just, dealing with some kind of bug, so I went ahead and tried to go to sleep that night, did not rest well, woke up the next morning feeling even worse, and at that point realized I was actually running a fever. Now, my fever was only about 101, so by some standards, that's not necessarily a big deal, but for me, being a transplant patient, for many of you as well, 101-degree fever can make you feel pretty nasty. Our bodies just don't react the same post-transplant on all these suppression drugs, I can't say that, as they normally would, or at least in a normal person. So we don't run as high a fever. So sometimes a very low-grade fever for us can be a real indicator something is really going on. So as I went through the day, got to feeling worse and worse, of course, continuing to run the fevers, I decided to go ahead and call my coordinator with a little bit of encouragement from my wife. So I went ahead and gave my coordinator a call. She called me right back pretty quickly and told me it was her best advice that I go and get a COVID test done. Now, that's the word I didn't want to hear. Didn't want to hear the word COVID associated with my name or anything in my family. And I'll tell you, even though I've kind of been on the outskirts of this, and because it's not a hot spot in my area, because we've only had a handful of cases, not really that concerned about it. But when you actually hear the word associated with your name, it kind of gives you a little sinking feeling, I have to admit. So felt a little bit, I don't know, what's the word? I don't know. Anyway, I felt kind of rough just hearing that. And so I ended up laying there most of the day, kind of re-going over my symptoms over and over and over. Yes, I had fever. Yes, I had achy bones and stuff. Yes, loss of appetite. Yes to, taste buds not being, when I did try to eat, it didn't taste right. The typical stuff, but I did not have a cough. I didn't have a cough of any sort, any kind. And so I was really apprehensive about going and getting the COVID test because I didn't seem to have a cough. I just didn't feel like that was going to be it. Now, not to say that as transplant patients, you and I shouldn't do what our teams say. I would certainly encourage you to do that. But I do encourage you to be as honest with yourself as you can be and know your body so that you can make good decisions and good choices. Now, I knew by going in for a COVID test, I was actually putting myself at risk for potentially catching it because of the way things are around here. So they didn't recommend that I come into Birmingham. That's where my transplant center is. They recommended that I stay locally, go to either a primary care physician, which I actually don't have, or go to an urgent care center, and be sure to call ahead. So debated around, messed around, didn't actually get it done even the second day. I know, a bad idea, but I didn't even get it done the second day. So I woke up this morning feeling actually a good bit better, but with a realization that what I think I have going on is not COVID, but it's actually strep throat. Same symptoms, a little bit lesser degree this morning, but a low-grade fever. I think it was right at 100 this morning, even 100. And noticing my lymph nodes are swollen right here. Noticing my tonsils are swollen in the back. And I realized, remembered then that I've been dealing with strep off and on all my life. And strep, for me, flu has its season. Everything seems to have its season. But strep, for me, seems to come up all times of the year. I've had strep in the middle of the summer. I've had it in the winter and the fall. I've had it every time. So I began to think, well, possibly I've got strep. So I went ahead and called the urgent care facility this morning, the moment they opened, 8 a.m. Called them up, told them what I was dealing with, asked them if they could do me a favor and to test me for a rapid flu and a rapid strep first. Here's a little side note to what I just said. Don't ever be afraid to request of your doctor a particular or certain test. If you honestly feel from experience that may be what you're dealing with, you want to start at the right place first. And if both of those come back negative, then turn and do the COVID test. Again, I just didn't want to really waste the COVID test. There are a lot of people who are symptomatic who I know are struggling to get that test. I'm not that symptomatic, at least it's not as far as the cough and difficulty breathing. I'm a little bit different, so I asked them if they could do that. They said, sure, that'd be perfect. Came in just a minute ago, actually went in the door wearing my mask, went in the door and went ahead and signed in filled out just a little bit of paperwork. I reassured the guy what was going on. He in turn reminded me, yes, we're going to do the rapid flu and the rapid strep first. Give me about 15 minutes on those. If either one of those come back positive, then we'll say that. And then if we have to, we'll go last resort to the COVID test. So that seems to be what's going to happen. I'll keep you updated. Again, I am feeling a little bit better today. You can probably see I'm got a little energy that I didn't have the last day or two, but I am feeling a little bit better today. So hopefully whatever this is passing, and I'll get over it really soon. Anyway, I just want you to know I'm praying for all of you out there, especially those of you who are in hotbeds of the COVID situation and dealing with so much. It's kind of scary time. I mean, I'll admit, I'm not, this kind of shook me up for a minute, just hearing the word, and who knows, I may end up with it, but those tests take 3 to 5 days to come back, so it'll be a while before I know. But anyway, thank you so much for continuing to support this channel, for continuing to encourage me and to encourage others. You're definitely a part of the Transplant Helper community when you do that. Thank you so much again. Until next time, stay stronger, friends.